the old days, communities were very intentional about entrepreneurial development. There was a period in our history where what rural areas provided to metropolitan centers were very obvious. We provided food, we provided fiber. Nowadays, where it's a global economy, it's more difficult, I think, for people in urban areas to recognize the value of rural populations. They're small, they're far away from us, they're not necessarily feeding us, they're not necessarily providing us with natural resources.
There is not a lot of capital or angel investing where there is in a metropolitan area. So a lot of small businesses that could be successful would never get off the ground because there is no availability for capital.
So the wonderful thing about entrepreneurship in a rural community is that you go about creating it in a different way that I think big cities might wish they could do. We talk to people, and building that close one-on-one relationship where there is no internet or phone in the way, you're building a relationship, and therefore all of your businesses are built off of relationships. And that's what makes them succeed, is because you have people already invested in them, because you've talked to them already.
In Wallowa County, we have a self-employment rate that's over 45%. So that means of everyone who has a job, 45% of them or more are providing their job for themselves. So to me, that indicates a strong willingness to figure out a way to make a living, to live in the place that you want to live. It also indicates that there's a great need to support those entrepreneurs. There's a lot of them, and they're doing what they can, but supporting them is really worthwhile because they are what is making up the economy of the region.
One of the big challenges we face is that it's very expensive for entrepreneurs to go physically to access things. So when we have the opportunity to get to know each other, then my story becomes the story of my partner in Portland. The story of the people where I live becomes the story of my partners in Salem. And it helps us so much to have our voice represented at the table when we're not there.
The positive things about being in a rural community is that it is small, it's friendly-ish, and there's a great emphasis now to try to build them up. And that's what I see being from the city moving to a smaller place, whereas before it was just kind of like passing them by and, you know, not really putting a lot of emphasis or money into them. But now I see that it's growing, and that's a positive thing. And I'm hopeful that more and more and more change will occur here and build it up. I love this place. It's great.